Welcome to Prime Space, a Prime Coaching Academy podcast with your host, Elias. And hello, my listeners. We have today the huge pleasure of having a guest. I always love when I have a guest in the podcast here. And today I have Robin Stueber. And Robin is a certified positive intelligence coach. She is a national board certified health and wellness coach, functional medicine certified health coach. She has an associate certified coaching ACC from the ICF. And Robin is also native from Hawaii, the state of Hawaii. She was born in Hawaii. She lives in Hawaii. And one of the things that I love when we were talking here earlier was her passion about Hawaiian culture and the integration of nature in everything that she does. So, Robin, hello.
Aloha, Elias. So great to hear your voice.
I love that you started with aloha. It's so you. I so appreciate that. Thank you so much for bringing this beautiful aspect of Hawaiian culture to us here. I appreciate you, Robin. Robin, so much about health, all in this introduction here. Let's jump into our conversation here. Why health coaching?
Well, let's just jump right into it, Elias, as you say. So, I became a coach in 2020. That's when I launched my coaching practice. But before that, I had a long 25-year history in sales, in corporate sales. And I worked for some very large national organizations. Some were international in the finance, in technology, and in medical industries. So lots and lots and lots of I was just steeped in the corporate environment. And that was great. I worked with, a lot of executives and teams and things like that in the sales activities. But, another thing that was happening at the same time was my own personal health. And I want to say maybe about 15 years ago or so, I started to experience very strange symptoms, just all different kinds of weird symptoms. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, is this what it feels like to be getting old? But I didn't want to really accept that as being the reality. And so I'm a little bit of a nerd. So I started doing my own research. And really what I found out was that I had autoimmune symptoms. They were autoimmune symptoms. And I would go to my doctors and get some help that way, but it wasn't quite satisfactory to me. They would provide me with maybe medications and prescriptions that would help with the symptoms. But what I was really after were the underlying causes. And that was where I had to kind of go off on my own to do my own research. I had also in the past struggled with a debilitating anxiety that affected my work performance. And so, this was no way to live. This was no way. I knew that it was preventing me from being my best, not only at work, but also with my relationships. So, I'm a kind of a take the bull by the horns kind of person, and I really wanted to learn more about it. And so I started making changes to my health. And so when I became a health coach in when I became a coach in 2020, I knew that I wanted to combine these two aspects of executive coaching and health and wellness coaching, because for me personally, I began to see the very, very close connection between your mind and body. And of course, as we know, what happened in 2020 that went on to 2021, 2022, this now became so relevant to organizations and just to individuals in general. And so I built my coaching practice on this holistic approach to executive coaching that includes health and wellness. And so therefore, I pursued the designations in functional medicine, health and wellness coaching, and going for my national board certification as well.
I so appreciate that story. First of all, because it's personal, right? It's you, it's your own experience and how you were able to translate that experience into something that now you support your clients with.
Mhm.
And in Robin's fashion, you went all the way in and you got your certification in coaching. You got your coach training, and then you got specialized in the specific area of health and wellness. Thank you for bringing this
Mhm.
all to your clients. So you started already talking about this. I would be curious, how do you verbalize this whole aspect of what is health coaching?
hmm So, health coaching has been around for quite a long time. I would say that since the pandemic, health and wellness coaching is really growing fast, and it is becoming a lot more accepted and integrated into patient care. And so that's really the crux right there. When it comes to lifestyle medicine, functional medicine approaches, where we're looking at the entire, a person's mind and body and the lifestyle and choices that they make every day in their life, this is where the health coaching aspect now becomes really relevant, because when you go to see your healthcare professional, your primary care doctor, your cardiologist, whatever it might be, they're there to diagnose and they're there to help set you on a particular track, but then it's up to you to make the lifestyle changes. And that is really hard for most people, right? If you have to lose 20 pounds, or if you have to cut sugar out of your diet, or if you have to start making dietary changes, it's really hard to change when you have had a habit and you have a busy lifestyle. So a health coach steps in at that point, and we work with patients, or clients, to help with this behavior change, um, so that they can, on their own terms and through their own intrinsic motivation, to start making healthier choices that lead to longer term lifestyle shifts that lead to health. So that really is, in a nutshell, how a health coach integrates with their clients. Now, there's a little bit of an additional spectrum to that, where some health coaches work directly hand in hand with healthcare professionals as a part of patient care. And that's one aspect of it. In fact, even insurance companies now are beginning to recognize services provided by health coaches as a recognized covered expense. There's some changes happening with the tax code around that. But the area that I tend to work in a little bit more is in the executive and team coaching space. So, yes, executive and team coaching, but with the added spectrum of understanding where, from a health and wellness perspective, that executive, those leaders, and their team, might be added. And it's so relevant right now post COVID, because that mind body connection is really becoming a lot more understood.
Yeah, I
And
so
so that's
appreciate. Yeah, yeah,
mhm,
hey, Robin. Sorry to interrupt there. I so appreciate that facet
mhm,
of the health coach uh, activity that you're having, and the way you're bringing this to us. Because at least for me, when I think of a health coach, I think more of that first description that you gave, but to see how you were able to integrate your corporate experience and your executive experience working with executives and your executive coaching training, and incorporate that in health coach to support that individual even more holistically, right? I talk so much about this. We coach the whole person. We don't coach just one particular situation. And here you are bringing this facet of the physical, mental, emotional health of that individual that supports that particular person in all of their functions. So I would love to
mhm.
hear more about how you make that combination there.
Yeah. So, I notice this a lot more now when I do my team building and, work with teams, is So on the one hand, we work on communication, right? In a team, you've got to have good communication skills and all of those things. But then in addition to that, we talk a little bit about our mood state. When it comes to mood regulation, emotion regulation, right? Self-awareness, situational awareness. Well, all of those things, I don't know if a lot of people know, but your mood state is impacted by the diet that you have. So when if you're feeding if you're feeding your body with healthy foods and you have a healthy microbiome, or that amazing world that lives in your gut of microbes. Did you know that 70% of your neurotransmitters are created in your gut, right? Your feel good neurotransmitters that regulates motivation and sense of calmness and lowering anxiety. Well, that is impacted in part by the diet that you have. And so I'm able to weave some of these things into an organization and equip people to understand why exercise and sleep and your diet all factor into your ability to have that strength of mental resilience, because it affects your mood states. Well, all of those things now come into play, and not only are they getting the benefit of perhaps learning a particular technique to develop a leadership or skill, but they're also walking away with an understanding of how they can personally impact their own health and wellness and sense of mental resilience through their lifestyle choices that they make, how much sleep they get and the foods they eat and what kind of exercise they do.
That's beautiful. And thank you for sharing this. I reminded me of a Netflix documentary that I watched on the health, the brain, in our minds, but the brain that we have in our gut. And they are talking all about the microbes that we have over there. So thank you for that. It's my cup of tea as well. Love that kind of stuff. We have just a few more minutes here, Robin, but I think it's crucial for us to talk about this. In all of this information that you have, and all of the research that you are aware of, and the knowledge that you acquired by all of the training that you had in health coaching, how do you integrate in the work that you do with your executive clients the ICF Core Competencies in this whole work that you do?
Mm-hmm. I am so grateful, Elias, that I have, and you have helped me because you are also my mentor coach. You've helped me to develop the ICF Core Competencies, because as a health and wellness coach, we are involved in behavior change, right? But coaches don't tell clients what to do. Right. We don't actually, a health and wellness coach may be a little bit more involved in perhaps educating a client around a specific health topic, but we still are not involved in being prescriptive. So that's where the ICF Core Competencies come into play for a health and wellness coach. We still have to have presence. We still have to establish agreements in our conversations, our coaching conversations. We still have to help the client do the deeper thinking around, what they are trying to accomplish, because we're talking about deep-rooted health habits that have been established over years and years and years. And so the client may still not quite realize where some of their behaviors are coming from. And so that is why the ICF Core Competencies are so important for health and wellness coaches, in addition to the training that we have in behavior change aspects of our coaching role.
That is fantastic. So to me, I could see, and I hope that the listeners are paying attention to what your response here, because it was very clear to me, the distinction between a transactional relationship and a transformational relationship.
Yes.
That you can give all of the information to your clients. These are things that you can share, or the client can do some research. But the transformational work, is when the client is really doing their work, their internal work. And thank you for bringing this depth of understanding of the competencies and bringing this to your clients.
Mm-hmm.
Quick questions here for you. If someone is interested in incorporating health coaching into their practices, a couple of tips for them.
Well, you know what? You're in an exciting space if this is your area of interest, because it's a very fast growing area of coaching right now. I'm currently working with a neuroscience practice in town that helps with caregivers. Caregivers are very stressed. My clients are caregivers to family members who have dementia or Alzheimer's, and so the coaching for them is becoming very helpful. But even if you are, involved in helping, if you would like to help coach patients who are looking for cardiovascular health or diabetes and whatever, it's a growing area right now for health and wellness coaches. So I would say, I'd be happy to communicate with you. I'm on LinkedIn. RobinStueber is how you spell my last name. Just look me up and send me a message. But yeah, there are many very good schools out there. And then I encourage you to seek your board certification, because that's a particular credential that I think really matters in this space.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Thank you for putting yourself available for the listeners to contact you. And LinkedIn, it's of course a great place to do. But I so appreciate your suggestions there around training and certification. You know me, I am all about standards. I think that it's an ethical issue. So I appreciate that. If you want to get into the field, please get trained and please get certified in that particular area. So Robin, thank you so much for all of this. And I'm sure that you're going to come back again and talk with us a little bit more, because as we can see, there is so much more for us to address around that area and the beautiful practice that you have right now. Listeners, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to rate the podcast. Don't forget to send your comments. Reach out, Elias at Prime Coaching Academy. And thank you so much. I will talk to you next time. Take care, everybody.
Aloha.